So now that we have created our Git repository and we have proved that we can push and pull files out of it, let's now start setting up our environment that we are going to use for the rest of this mini course. So let's clear the screen, let's go to /vagrant, and the first thing we're going to do is that we are going to clone our Git repository to this directory so that it is available to us to push the different files to it. So 192.168.33.100/puppet-repo, then give it the current directory. Okay, so we do have files here. Let's remove this manifests file, and let's mkdir production, get inside production, and again let's issue that command. Okay, so now we have an empty directory called production. Of course, it has the test.pp file that we have created in the repository. That's okay, let's leave it. Now let's get the files from the production directory, which is, as we said, the directory where Puppet stores by default the manifests and the different file configuration files. So it's located in /etc/puppet-labs/code environments production *. Let's get all those files here. Okay, and let's issue a comment. So let's git add all, git commit -m adds the production defaults, git push. Alright, now we have our directory that can be viewed from here in sync with the directory where Puppet is going to store and to apply its configuration. So the reason why I'm doing this is that I'm going to edit this directory however I like, add files, remove files, and do everything I need, and then I can issue a git push out of this directory so it is stored at the Git repository, and then I'm going to issue a cron job that is going to pull whatever changes have been made to the repository and add it here to this default directory so that Puppet can use it. Okay, sounds confusing, I know, but believe me, when we move through this course, it's going to be very obvious. So let's clear the screen. Let's see how this can be done manually. So let's go to /etc/puppet-labs code environments production. I'm going to remove everything inside. Of course, this needs to be done as the root user because now I am inside a privileged directory. Sudo rm-rf everything. I have nothing and nothing hidden. Now I can issue sudo git clone git 192.168.33.100/puppet-repo to this directory. So now the directory contains all the files that I need. Okay, and the reason why we are not seeing the directories, we do have directories here like data and manifests and modules. The reason why those directories are not added in the repository and were not pulled when we did the git clone is that because they are empty. So let's have a look at /data. You're gonna see that it's empty. Same goes for manifests and modules. So that's why they were not pulled or cloned when we did the git clone command. So that is the basic workflow that we are going to do, which is that we are going to edit them here first, then push them, and then issue git pull from here. This can be done from any machine, not necessarily the machine where we are installing Puppet. This can be done from any client machine. But on the master machine or on the Puppet machine or on whatever machine you want Puppet to be applied, you are going to issue git pull in this directory like this. Okay, and you are going to issue Puppet apply against the manifest directory. Okay, so our first task here is that we are going to use Puppet to install a cron job that is going to both pull periodically whatever changes have been found on the remote repository, and also it is going to apply those settings. We're going to do that using Puppet, so let's go to our Visual Studio Code. Let's close this. Go to our manifests and let's add a new file. Let's call it puppet-cron.pp. Okay. And inside this file, we are going to use two resources. The file resource, because we are going to upload a script that is going to execute the git pull and the Puppet apply manifest. So we're going to use a file. We're going to define this file later. it will be stored in, and notice that this is always the destination directory or the destination path of the file. It's always typed in the title. Although I can do it the other way around. I can say, for example, that this file is going to, and give it a title. It's the script that will pull and apply Puppet manifests. I can do it like that, and I can use the path attribute to give it the remote location or the target location, like this /usr/local/bin/exec-puppet, which is the name of the file that I'm gonna create. Alright, so you can either place this in the title, and if you place it in the title like this, you can safely remove this path, and Puppet will automatically infer that the destination path for this file is this one from the title. If you want to use it the other way around, it's up to you. For this specific example, let's use this model, adding a title that is description for what this resource is gonna do, and add the path for the file just to be more obvious for you. But the other method is also valid, and it will work as expected. Alright, so this is the path. Now I can create the content for this file, to create this new file and add a content. The content is going to be as follows: cd/etc, which is the directory path that we've talked about, which in where Puppet is going to look for the manifests. So /etc/Puppet labs/code/environments/production. You can add as many environments as you want. By the way, you can add a development environment, a production environment, a staging environment, and so on. And we're gonna see in a moment how you can instruct Puppet where to look for a specific environment. Alright, and once we are inside the production directory, let's issue the &&, which means execute the following command only if the previous command is successful. Git pull. So it's gonna git pull from this directory, and then the second command is going to be /opt/Puppet labs. I'm just typing the path to the executable file, /opt/Puppet labs/bin/Puppet apply manifests. Okay, so let's have a look at this command again. I'm gonna close this sidebar. So the content of this file is gonna be as follows. It's gonna be an executable file. Just go to /etc/Puppet labs/code environments production, and once you are there, issue a git pull, and then issue the following command: /opt/Puppet labs/bin/Puppet, which is the binary Puppet command, apply, and manifests. I'm not gonna give it a name of a manifest. It is going to go inside this directory manifests and execute all the files that are inside. So you might be wondering how each node is going to know whether or not this manifest is directed at it, or it is the one intended by this manifest. We're gonna see that in a moment when we start writing manifests for building our mean stack. But for the moment, just understand that this executable file is going to pull all the changes from the Git repository and apply whatever manifests are inside the manifests directory using Puppet apply command. And in order for this to work, of course, this file needs to have the 755 permissions just to be executable. That is gonna be for our first resource. Our second resource is to issue a cron job. Gonna call it exec puppet. This is the title of the resource, colon, and then it's gonna take the command. Command here, of course, is this one, /usr/local/bin/exec-puppet, because by now it should be created. Okay, we are going to execute this command, let's say, every hour. So I'm gonna place asterisk, and a minute, and every 15 minutes, for example. So it's gonna be executed 4 times per hour. Think that is appropriate enough, and let's apply this to our current machine and see its output. So let's go to our terminal. Of course, we'll need to go to /vagrant/production first, git add everything, git commit -m adds the cron job. Okay, and of course git push. Then let's go to the environments production directory and git pull. sudo git pull, sorry. Okay, so now we have inside our manifests file, we have the puppet-cron.pp. Let's sudo puppet apply manifests and press enter. Alright, so the puppet manifest has completed successfully. If you have a look now at /usr/local/bin, you're gonna find that we have a file that is called execpuppet. If we have a look at the contents of this file, you're gonna see that it has what we have written. It will go inside Puppet Labs code environments production, and it will gonna issue git pull, and then it's gonna apply whatever inside the manifests. If we have a look at the cron tab of root, because this has been executed using the root user privilege, have a look here, puppet name execpuppet, and notice that this is how Puppet knows which cron job is gonna work with, so be sure not to tamper with this Puppet name. Don't edit it, don't add or remove anything, right? Just this is managed by Puppet. And as you can see here, our cron job has been created. Now every 15 minutes, this command is going to be executed. It's gonna get inside this directory, it's gonna pull whatever manifests found inside the repository, and it's going to execute it. Alright, so this is basically what we are going to use as a Puppet master, and in the coming lecture we are going to see how we can instruct the rest of the nodes in our environment to use the same technique to apply Puppet manifests out of this Git repository, and then we are going to introduce Puppet Hira, which is the default storage of data and variables. We are going to use it extensively in our lab, so until next lecture, take care. So now that we have created an automated workflow for this Puppet machine as an example, let's now see how we can automate this for the rest of our nodes. Remember, we have 3 other nodes in this environment for our mean stack. Let's go to our Vagrant file and have a look at them quickly. And here in our Vagrant file, if you remember, we have our database machine, our application machine, and our web machine, which contains our web server. Let's see how we can automate those machines so that when they start up, they have Puppet already installed and a cron job already available that is going to pull the manifests and install them or apply them on the local machine. So we are going to use the shell provisioning. So let's see, db.vm.provision shell inline. You've seen that before when we discussed the Vagrant tool. So this is gonna be our shell commands. Let's just end the stanza and let's start writing. Let's first go to /temp, and we are going to wget our file and install it using dpkg. Okay, then the usual stuff, apt-get update, apt-get install -y puppet -agent, and we want to be sure that we do also have git installed. I know that it's already installed with the default installation of Ubuntu, but just to make sure that it will be there. And then we will need to remove the default production directory because we are going to clone that from our repository. So rm-rf, the default production directory. Okay, and then we are going to get inside it once it is empty, and we are going to issue git clone, just the stuff that we have just did in the previous lecture, /puppet-repo to the current directory, which is the production environment. And then once done, we will need to apply the manifest that we have there, which is bin puppet apply, and then give it the directory or production directory manifests. And in this particular example, or in this particular case, we are interested in only running puppet-cron.pp. We are not gonna give it the whole manifests directory to run because this is the job of the cron task or the cron job. Here we are just interested in installing the cron job Nothing more, nothing less. So I'm gonna pass it just the puppet-cron.manifest file or .pp. Okay. So let's now go to the terminal. Alright, and let's exit from this machine. Let's issue vagrant opdb, and let's see how the shell provisioning is gonna work. Okay, seems that we have a typo. Okay. Let's issue vagrant provision db. Right, and the provisioning is successful. Let's issue vagrant sshDB to get inside it. And we do have Puppet installed, puppet-version. Alright, if we issue sudo cron tab -l, I'm gonna see that we have the cron job installed for us. And if we go to /etc/puppet labs /code environments production, you're gonna see that we have inside the manifests, we have puppet-cron.pp. This means that our git pull was executed successfully, and also this means that exec-puppet script has been executed successfully as well. So now we are ready to install whatever manifests that are going to target the MongoDB machine from either from our Puppet Master or from whatever client that has access to the Puppet Master Git repository. And every 15 minutes, those Puppet manifests are going to be pulled to the MongoDB database machine, and they are going to be applied accordingly. So that is a workaround, or another way of using Puppet without having a master server installed. And by the way, the master server is free to use up till 10 nodes, after which you will have to pay a fee for Puppet in order to use more than 10 nodes with Puppet Master. Of course, the Puppet Master or the Agent Master model offers a lot more features than just distributing manifests to multiple nodes. It has reporting and it has more control on the nodes. But if your only task is just to distribute the manifests among the nodes and have those nodes pull those manifests on periodic basis and apply them, then using this method or this model is just enough. Alright, so let's move on to the rest of the machines and do the same with them. So let's copy and paste this stanza to our other machines as well. So let's go to the application machine, of course making the appropriate changes. So this is going to be an app, and you're going to replace this with the equivalent repository, which is rpm-uvh https yum.puppet.com /puppet5 puppet5-release-7.noarc.rpm. So this is the URL to install the appropriate Yum repository for installing Puppet, just as the same way we did with Ubuntu, but of course this is for the CentOS or the Red Hat family. Once done, of course, let's remove those. We will need to issue yum-y install puppet-agent, and also yum-y install git. Then the rest is the same. Let's go to the terminal and issue vagrant up app. Right now the application machine is configured. Let's copy and paste the same stanza to our web machine. Of course, make the appropriate change and vagrant up web. Alright, and now we also have our web machine up and running and ready to receive the manifests that we push to the Git repository every 15 minutes. In the coming lecture, we are going to discuss the last aspect of Puppet before moving on to our lab of building the mean stack as usual, which is going to be discussing how Puppet stores data, how it stores encrypted data, and this is done using what's called Puppet Hira. So Until next lecture, take care.